And you want to be polite and nice way, so I'm going to count backwards. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Peter Wachter, and this is the Yong YN216 Pro LED video light. This is not a product review. If you're watching this video, you've probably seen some on YouTube already, or you've already acquired this fixture. I'm going to show you a means to improve the beam pattern and do it without using any tools whatsoever. There's been questions on the internet asking whether or not there's a Snoot available for this, and there is not, but I'm going to show you a Snoot Reflector hybrid, a combination that you might find very useful in your shooting. The product, of course, comes with barn doors, and traditionally barn doors were matte black, and they were used to eclipse the light and to prevent light from entering areas on your scene that you didn't want light to invade. These will, in a very small degree, narrow the focus of the light output, but in the process of doing so, they're going to be rather inefficient because all of these point source LEDs are going to bounce off this hammered specular finish here, and because it is so diffuse, it's going to go off in a lot of different directions. So I'm going to show you something that's considerably more efficient. Let's first remove the barn doors by folding the blades up. And hold the body snugly and grab the ring. Rotate it counterclockwise like you're unscrewing something, and only about 1/8 of a turn you got to overcome a little plastic stop and it'll click. Now, as an aside, let me tell you, make your life easy. Put a mark at top dead center on the barn door assembly and top dead center on the fixture itself. That will allow you a much easier alignment when you go to put the barn door back on. So this line again is the top dead center on both the fixture and the barn doors that are aligned up before you rotate it into position going clockwise 1/8 of a turn. There's a number of ways you can put those marks on a product. Any color, paint stick, or the tried and true old trusty photographer's friend, the silver Sharpie. Since we use a lot of black in photography, this imparts a nice clean image that dries almost immediately. Now, the solution is one that came to me because of my experience in the lighting industry. It came to me rather quickly. It's a recessed lighting trim. This is it right here. This happens to be a 6-inch trim, and it seems to work out perfectly for this. Let's open it up. We can remove the springs. We won't need those. But I like to hang on to stuff like this. I might find a use for it in a future project. The trim ring is unnecessary, and I can assure you it makes a very unsatisfactory frisbee. This is the reflector itself. It's about 3 inches deep. The key factors here are, number one, that there's a polished aluminum interior, typically called specular reflector. The other one is that the diameter on the back end, the minor diameter or the smaller diameter at the back aperture is sized exactly right for the YN216. Now, you could go through a lot of mathematical calculations of trying to find out how to get this done using, these are the key measurements. These are the minimum diameter you would want on the inside and the maximum diameter you would want on the outside if you would like to start with that to help you find a solution for yourself. As an aside, let me tell you that a traditional Snoot is something that looks like this, and it's black, and it's a spun part, and the light source goes through these steps and is delivered to the scene And what happens is, I would suspect there's no more than 5 to 10% of the light exiting here. It's very well controlled. It may be hitting a highlight on a wine bottle or something that gives you exactly what you're looking for. But what I'm going to show you today is a trim that worked perfectly for me, and that's this item here. I looked today. It's not available online. It's available in stores only. It's a T7340105, and they're selling for $11.73, which is a cheap item considering you don't have to do any fancy modification work to it. There's also some on eBay, the same exact product from Commercial Electric for $9. This is a T7 6-inch trim. Look for that. Now let's talk about how we mount this to the fixture. We can get involved in all kinds of fancy additional parts using a Dremel moto tool for half a day to create that snap-on rotatable fit that the barn door has, but I think that'd be a waste of time. There's a much easier solution, and it works quite well, and that is simply using a product that we're all used to in photography, duct tape or gaffer's tape. I can put a piece on the reflector before I mount it to the fixture. As you can see, this reflector is a very sweet, perfect match to the front diameter of the YN216 fixture. And there you have it. It's a beautiful fit. Now, because this is not a 300 watt or a 500 watt fixture, we don't have to worry about the adhesive melting on the tape and the reflector falling into your food shot. So this should stay, and the aluminum is very light, so this should stay put. And let's have a look on the inside. If you can see, the point source is reflected in the reflector, ray diagrams would tell you that the light is being directed outwards towards your scene. So this is a very efficient utilization of both energy and the LEDs themselves. Now I'm going to light this up and give you a look. Now this is going to rattle the sensor in the camera, but that gives you an idea of what kind of light control you have with this product. Now let's swing it around and aim it at the seamless that's behind me. Right now that's on a completely lowest dimmer setting. I'm going to crank it up to 100%. Now you can see all the light from the LEDs is being utilized. There's very little light lost. It's all being pumped towards the scene that you're shooting. And you can see that it has a fairly tight cutoff. This is about 18 inches behind me. This is my first video. I'm an industrial designer, a hacker. I'm into photography and lighting. If you found this interesting and would like to see more things like it, please give me a thumbs up. Give me a yes, and with a little bit of enthusiasm, Chapter 2 in the YN216 saga might include a fiber can from Costco. This is a plastic part that I'm going to modify and line with a specular aluminum reflector, and we're going to create a much tighter snoot beam pattern for the 216, and we're going to do so using tools none other than art tools. Thank you very much for viewing. Hope to see you again soon.